Okay. Let's see.
This is Tracy Pruski interviewing Gladys Short at Chesaning Rest Home, January 22nd, 1989. Okay. So, were you in were you in World War II?
I was living in World War II, but I wasn't in it. I mean, I lived in Saginaw. And I had 2 children to home at that time. Yeah, my 2 boys had joined the service. And one girl was had an apartment of her own.
So your children were in the service?
2 boys. One in the Air Corps, and one in the Army.
Were they shipped out to battle or do you know?
You mean in... It's hard for me to think. You mean in the fighting? Well, yes. My oldest son that was in the Army, he was over in the islands, and they were fighting over there. Japanese was.
By Pearl Harbor?
Yes. And some of the islands around there. And my other son was in the Air Corps, and he was going from the States here into the islands, back and forth. Now, I can't tell you what it was. It was all secret to know. It was missions that they were on. I can't tell you too much about that.
How did you feel knowing your sons were out in the war?
I felt terrible.
Were you lonely?
Well, my oldest son was married. My son that was in the Air Corps, he wasn't married, but he got married while he was in the Air Corps. And, no, I can't say I was lonely. I was just kept wondering.
Did they write you?
Yes.
Did you
See,
write?
I had a husband at that time and 2 children.
Was he with you, your husband?
Yes. Yeah, between 41 and 44 was it? Speaking about.
Were your sons, do you know, were they in the war at the beginning of the fight?
My son that joined the Air Corps was, because he had joined before. Yes, he was.
And was your other son?
He was drafted.
Oh,
He was married, but he was drafted. He lived in Ohio.
so he came back home.
He came back safe.
Did your other son too?
Yes, they both came back safe.
Were you very happy and
Very happy.
proud?
Mm-hmm.
While they were out in World War II, were you going through trouble at home? Like, was there lots of news of bombings and stuff?
Didn't get too much news then. You had a radio, didn't have a TV. and you didn't get too much news.
Did your sons ever go farther than Hawaii, around there?
Yes, my son that was in the Air Corps was flying all over the islands. Midway. And my son that was in the Army, he was going from one island to another. Leyte,
When your sons wrote you, what?
they didn't write very much.
Oh,
They were both married, you know.
did
So
they?
they didn't write to me very much.
Oh, you wrote his mom and his
Mhm.
wife.
Yes, both of them wrote to their wife. But you couldn't write too much, you know. See, that would be all censored. One thing I can tell you, we had ration books.
What were those?
Well, they tore out, if you wanted 5 pounds of sugar, it was rations, you know. So they tore out stamps from your book. Different food. And they tore out stamps from your book. Like about meat, sugar, flour. They tore out stamps. The gasoline was rationed. Yeah, stamps for that. Everything was rationed at that time. And there were victory gardens. That's, if you had a space, you had to plant something because there was a shortage of food. And sometimes they would rent out a victory garden to someone else that would work on it. Because you grew as much food as you could. And some vegetables.
The food you ate, you grew?
No, that wasn't ration because people were growing it. If you had a space, you had a garden.
Tell me what you remember about the first atom bomb in 1945.
Not too much. Not too much. I know it was used in Hiroshima, on Hiroshima. And that's all I could tell you about that.
Did it scare you, knowing they had?
Well, knowing that there was such a thing, yes, because any other country could have it, which they have now, and it could be very destructive, which it is.
Were your sons proud for what the cause they went out to fight for? Do you know?
I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know if they were or not, because they were just doing what they had to do. The one that had been drafted was just doing what he had to do, and the one that had volunteered to go before, he was just obeying orders. That's all. But I imagine I never asked him if they were proud. I was proud to know that they had did that.
How did the family feel that while they were gone? Did you ever?
People were very disturbed and just worried all the time.
Did you ever receive letters or phone calls letters saying...
Not so much, because I say they were married, and
Yeah. I mean, did you ever receive letters saying they might have been missing in action? Or
no. No.
Were your sons ever injured?
No.
Do you know what kind of entertainment they may have received?
Well, I imagine they was at the PX. I imagine that, but they never told me anything like that. And I don't think they tell their wife.
Well, is there anything you'd like to say anymore?
There's nothing more I can say, honey. Like I said, I have forgotten about it. I know we had Victory Gardens, and I know we had ration stamps. And our stockings is what they call lisle.
Lyle?
It's a material that between rayon and a cotton.
What you use it for?
For stockings.
Yeah. Was there any other special things that you might have used them for? I've heard stories, you know.
Stockings?
Uh-huh. I don't know.
No.
No?
If I needed them, I guess I bought them. I can't even remember that part.
Do you miss the 1940s and stuff?
Do I what?
Do you miss back then, the past, being there?
No, I don't. No, I don't.
Did it bring hardship and you're just glad it's over with?
I was glad it was over with. Very glad it was over with.
Okay. Thank you for your time.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Have a nice day.
Yeah.
My husband entered the World War II in 1940. He was with the Seabees, and we spent most of our years in the South Pacific and the Aleutian Islands. He was wounded, so he developed pneumonia, and he told many times that they were using flame throwers to throw it to. They were supposed to use them only for throwing in caves. That's his right. And he said they used to use them to cook with the warm coffee on. And he said that it was terribly cold in the oceans. And when he was in the South Pacific, he had something really funny happen. There was a man came in with the mail, and he told Father he had some mail. Father was so happy. It was from the United States government saying he didn't pay his income tax for the previous year. And he said the ship was the safest place they felt. Just love the ship. They always had confidence. They always felt that the ship would keep them safe, and it did. And he said some very funny things happened to him. But there was one movie that they started to show. Every time they started to show it, there was always a carnival alert.
There's what?
Everybody had floaties on the stage.
Oh.
So I never did see the movie the rest of it.
Oh.
Can't think of anything else. He spent most of his time in the South Pacific Islands.
Did he?
Mm-hmm. He hated to talk about it. He had marine training. And whenever he saw a movie about World War II, he knew exactly what they were going to do next. He said, now they're going to storm the island. They're not going to do exactly that. But he hardly ever to discuss it.
Did he ever get injured?
Yes. He had a wound on his leg that never healed.
Oh.
He was 75 when he died. That had never healed.
Did it impair his walking?
Sometimes it did. And he had a little scar on his face.
Do you know what from?
Shrapnel. I don't know of anything else, I think.
Did he write you letters?
Yes.
Did you write him back?
Mm-hmm.
Were you happy to receive them?
Oh, I was delighted. Of course I was.
Was there any time maybe that you received some letter saying he was missing in action or
No.
anything? No? Motorcycles.
There were 3 men who were together through the whole war. And he and these 2 men were pals. And we used to go see them every summer. Well, we kept in contact, let's put it that way. And they never talked about the war except in what they had to eat. They had sea rations sometimes for a long period of time. And he didn't like that. But those 3 men were right together. I don't know. I know that one of them was living, but I don't know what the other. When he died in 1984, I sent him notice of his death. I said, Cookins. He was in the construction area, built big sheds to store things. And he left them, naturally. And he saw his machinery that was never used. It was left right there to rest.
Really?
Mm-hmm. What would they do with him?
Was he to be on ships or artillery or what?
The Seabees were most stationed on ships, but they landed in various places and put buildings up to live in or store things.
And they mostly ate seafood?
Sea rations.
Sea rashes? Were those fish and all that?
No, it was spam and things like that. And he told me never to serve spam on the sea. I never did.
Did he say where he slept? Well,
when they were out in combat, he slept on the ground in rags, sleeping bags. When they were in the ships, they had bunks like, and he always kept his uniform.
they always had one uniform on?
At home,
No, they always had one on?
sometimes they were work clothes, But he was in the Navy uniform and they had parades.
He was in the Navy?
Lots of dogs in the Navy, Seabees. See.
Do you know how many years or months he might have been out in the war?
We got right into it, I know. He had some training, Marine training. And then, you mean actual combat?
How long was he out fighting?
4 years.
4 years?
Well, yeah, he had some training. He spent 4 years in the service. But they left right away for a type of training. That's where they trained. He was training for that. He was ran to the Navy.
Your grandson is?
But
What did you say?
so he was in Chicago. There was a ranch training unit there.
Oh,
Sailors training. He's had Marine training.
When he came back after the 4 years, were you very happy and proud to see him?
Well, I was proud that he was not happy because he was so nervous.
To see you?
No,
To
the
be
war was very hard on him,
Oh, yeah.
very difficult. And he couldn't sleep nights because he had seen some of his best friends get killed. And he wanted to get out and go for a ride. He was terribly nervous, but he overcame it. Once in a while, he'd have about once a year he'd get an attack in the area. Because he'd had it 3 times. If you do right, have it pressed to the leg. And the attack would be, break out, sweat, and he'd have chills. Toward the last, I don't remember, he had it very severe.
What effect did that have on you?
Well, I was quite disturbed. He couldn't donate blood to anybody because he had the germ in his system.
Did he overcome it after a
Oh,
while?
yes. Of course, he never really overcame it. I think he was nervous to start with, a little bit.
So you were a teacher?
Yes. 23 years.
43 years? You proud and happy with the job you had?
Yes. I loved it.
Well, that's about all.
I don't know if I can tell you anything interesting.
Oh, yes. The
But
cute stories.
there's humor in
Yes.
the war. Now I've been getting a lot from the United States government. You would have thought fill out your income tax.
Okay.
Says, report immediately to the nearest headquarters. He said, I wish I could. He wrote around the paper, I wish I could. And he was in the South Pacific. Yeah, he was fighting. That was the mail he got. I laughed over that.
Is there anything else you'd like to add?
I can't think of anything. I know we didn't discuss it. He said we did what we had to do. And he never wanted to carry a gun. He never wanted to go hunting, pick up a gun. He had the 22, which he used to kill some wild animal. He kept his gun. And a gun, let's say, the cub wasn't a combat gun. But he never could shoot anything. I mean, hurt anything.
Right.
When we had a dog like puppies, and they died. And he said, well, at least if it isn't the person.
Thank you. You've helped me a lot.
I hope so.